Hello, dear students. Welcome to biology class on what is life. Okay. The concept is for all students. It is a common concept. It's no doubt at all. So let's start the class. It's biology. What is life? First of all, let's see the characteristics of life. It's in the life. Nothing but living organisms which will carry out set of processes that living things cannot. And these processes are the characteristics of life. If you see the life process, that life process has got about 7 characteristics. 7 characteristics are possible here. Among those 7, we have the one is called as momentum, moment. Another one is called as sensing. The other one is nutrition, taking food, all these things, and expression, respiration, growth, reproduction. See, let us see the first one here. That is what we'll call as momentum. So, moment. All forms of life can move. Some or all of their body. Even plants move often by growth. Squash bugs have jointed legs for walking and wings for flight. Some, if you see the sensitivity concept here, all the living things can sense things, changes around them and respond to them. Many insects use their antennae, feelers, these are called feelers, and to detect changes around them. Nutrition, another one is called the nutrition. Nutrition is now an organism obtains or makes food. The animals do this by eating food, and plants make their own food from simple chemicals and energy and sunlight. So after take the food, the next step we'll see excretion. Which is all organisms excrete waste substances from their cells, and this include the carbon dioxide that is bug produces during cell respiration. And going to that respiration concept. All life forms respire, releasing energy from breakdown of substances to enable all cell processes. Of that growth, all organisms can grow, increasing their size permanently, and young bugs will shed their skin 5 times before they are fully grown. Next, reproduction. The reproduction is the production of offspring. Squash bugs reproduce by laying eggs, but other life forms gives birth to live young. or use seeds or spores. See, these are pictures related to that information. So now we saw these 7 stages of life process. What about viruses? Viruses cannot carry any of the life process on their own because they can reproduce, but only by invading living cells. Scientists disagree on whether the viruses are alive or not. This is measles virus, an example picture we are showing here. This is the thing. Now, this is the key facts of this things what we learned here. These are 7 characteristics of living organisms. Life is a movement, reproduction, sensitivity, growth, respiration, excretion, and nutrition. When it comes to viruses, viruses do not carry out life process. They can replicate inside living cells. That's what the important facts we learned in this characteristics of life. Okay. Let us see the next one, the classification of species. A species is defined as a group of organisms with similar characteristics that can breed with each other to produce fertile offspring. Studies of body structure and body function and DNA sequences can identify how closely related species are. This is called classification. This is the kingdom: plants, fungi, animals, protists, and prokaryotes. Animals case, here is the phylum is there, and the spinal chordates. We have class, order is there, and carnivores, families, genus, species, and always. Now in this phylum, we have 2 types of arthropods, and segmented worms are there. Here in this, we have the classification of phylum. We have 2 things are there: bone related bony fishes there, and mammals. We have birds. The 3 things are there in this. In the mammals, the classification: rodents and cloven hoofed mammals are there. Here, carnivores. We have a family, that is bears and dogs are there. Cats also there. In the cats, we have genus. The 2 types of things are there. Cheetah is there, small cats are there. The big cats and small cats. In big cats category, we have species lions and tiger, or the lion and tiger is there. Panthera leo is there, and panther tigris is there in this discussion. What are the key facts in the discussion we had studied? Is the kingdom is the species is a group of organisms, and members of same species can breed to produce the fertile offspring. And the classification is the process of putting living organisms into groups. The binomial name of genus and species is unique for each species here. Linnean classification, if you see, the all living things can be classified by placing them into a series of nested categories that fit inside each other, such as species, genus, and family. And that is called as the Linnean classification, because it was devised by Swedish scientist Carl Linnaeus. Linnaeus divided all living things into only 2 kingdoms: plants and animals. But today, biologists use more. Binomial naming: European robin and American robin, 2 examples here. Every species has a unique scientific name that consists of 2 parts. The 2 parts of that naming is called as binomial naming, and its genus and species names are there. For example, robin that lives in Europe is Erythacus rubicula, and this distinguishes it from the American robin. And Turdus migratorius, which is more closely related to European thrushes. Now let us see the kingdoms of life. All kingdoms can be classified into one of the several major categories called kingdoms, such as animal kingdom and plant kingdom. But biologists have traditionally divided living things into 5 or 6 kingdoms that are plant kingdom, Key characteristics of this one is the multicellular organisms. Their cells have a nucleus and cell wall of cellulose. Chloroplasts allow photosynthesis. The fungi is another type of kingdom. The mostly multicellular organisms are there here, and cells have a nucleus and cell wall of chitin. And most species digest plant and animal material and absorb nutrients into their cells. Animal kingdom, we also multicellular organisms are the cells have a nucleus and get nutrients by eating other organisms. And Protoctista, the mostly single celled organisms, the cells have a nucleus and some species contains chloroplasts in this Protoctista. Prokaryotes and single cell organisms and cells have a simple structure with no nucleus and single chromosome. And some species have extra DNA in circular plasmids. These are the 5 types. Observe plants, fungi, animals, Protoctista, and prokaryotes. The key facts in this one is the living things are traditionally being divided into major categories called kingdoms, and plants makes up the plant kingdom and animals make up the animal kingdom. In recent years, scientists have devised a new classification scheme based on the 3 groups called domains, and these 3 domains we have bacteria, archaea, and eukarya. DNA studies have allowed scientists to figure out a tree of life showing how the earliest organisms on earth evolved from common ancestor, giving rise to the major groups that exist today. This led to a new classification system based on evolutionary relationships. And the scheme divides all organisms into 3 groups called domains: bacteria, archaeans, and prokaryotes, and eukaryotes. Eukaryotes, nothing but animals, plants, fungi are placed in this domain called eukarya. So, bacteria and archaeans are prokaryotes. Animals, plants, fungi are comes under eukaryotes. Okay. Let us see the body organization. The cells that makes up multi-cellular organism are organized into groups called tissues. Different tissues are joined to form organs, and organs work in groups called organ systems. Organ systems are made up of number of organs working together to perform function. And the main function of the digestive system is to break down the complex substances in food so that they are small enough to be absorbed from the intestine into the blood. The digestive system is nothing but the human body has several organ systems, including the circulatory system, nervous system, respiratory system, and the digestive system. Each system carries out a particular function in the body. This is stomach. What about organ case? Here, each organ and organ system has a particular function. For example, stomach is that it helps the digesting the food by releasing enzymes and churning the food to mix it with the enzymes. And tissue, you are observing here the tissue. What is the tissue? Tissue is an organ that made up of different tissues. Organs are made up of different tissues. The tissue is a group of cells with similar structure and function. For example, stomach is largely made of muscle tissue, and that expands and contracts when you eat food. So this is the muscle tissue we are observing in the picture here. And what about the cell? Here, cell is nothing but cells are the basic structural and functional units on living organisms. Most cells in the body are specialized for one function. For example, some of the epithelial cells in the stomach are specialized to make and release digestive system into stomach. Digestive enzymes into the system, stomach. Key facts in that we have observed is the bodies have different levels of organizations, the organ systems, organs, tissues, and cells. The different levels of organization help multicellular bodies function efficiently. The main organ of a flowering plant we are seeing now, that is root, stem, leaf, flower, and fruit. You see the picture, the structure of flowering plants is also organized in different levels. The main organs we observed: root, fruit, stem, leaf, flower, and fruit. They are the main things. Let us move to the organ systems. Different parts of human body work together in groups of organs called systems. And each organ system carries out a particular function such as digestion and transporting substances around the body. Working parts. Shown here the organs that make up four different organ systems. Different organ systems work together to make the whole body function. For example, if you see this one here, the main function of the main organ in the circulatory system, that is the heart, and which pumps blood. Heart which pumps blood vessels. You are observing the red color. You are observing. Yeah, these are. So what is circulatory system? The function of the circulatory system is to transport substances around the body, and these substances include oxygen and glucose. They needed by cells for respiration, and carbon dioxide and urea is needed for waste products that need to be excreted from the body. Small intestine you are observing here, digestion. The digestion breaks down large substances in food such as fats, carbohydrates, and proteins, and subunits of these substances such as simple sugars, fatty acids, and amino acids are then absorbed into the body in the digestive system. Let us move to the nervous system. The spinal cord receives impulse from receptors in sense organs such as eyes. Spinal cord here. This is spinal cord. Nervous system is responsible for detecting changes both inside and outside the body, and this system then coordinates responses to those changes such as by causing muscles to move or hormones to be released. Next, respiratory system. Gas exchange in humans takes place in the lungs. Respiratory system. This respiratory system ensures that every cell in the body receives oxygen and gets rid of the waste product carbon dioxide. Breathing movements caused by muscles in the rib cage and diaphragm move air into and out of the lungs. What are the key facts in the discussion is organ system in the human body specialized to carry out particular functions. Each organ system is made up of organs that contribute to the function of that system. Next, we will see the important topic, that is vertebrates. Animal kingdom contains two main subgroups, vertebrates and invertebrates. Vertebrates have backbones and an internal skeleton made of bone and cartilage. So vertebrates are animals with internal skeleton of bone or cartilage. There are 7 classes of vertebrates, and each class of vertebrate has a key characteristic property. Vertebrate classification, if you see the 7 here, there are 7 classes vertebrates as a certain characteristic features. You'll see mammals. They give birth to live young and feed their young on milk made in mammary glands. Have hair and fur. They maintain constant body temperature. Thus, they are mammals. Birds. Feathers cover body and lay hard-shelled eggs. Maintain a constant body temperature. They are birds. Reptiles. Leathery scales cover the body and lay shelled eggs. Body temperature usually varies with surroundings. Amphibians. Lay soft eggs usually in water, and young tadpoles tends to be different shape from adults. Gills, moist skin, or lungs for gas exchange. And body temperature varies with surroundings. 3 classes of the species are the geofish, jawless fish, and cartilaginous fish, bony fish. In this jawless fish, gills for gas exchange is there. The no bony jaws are there in this. Skeleton of cartilage is there in this. Cartilaginous fish, gills and skeleton of cartilage. Bony fish, we have gills, skeleton of bone. Birds and dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are a group of reptiles that appeared more than 200 million years ago. Evidence from fossils now shows that many dinosaurs had feathers and other characteristics of birds. So birds are believed to have evolved from dinosaurs. So many dinosaurs had feathers for insulation and display. City-putty. This is invertebrates. More than 95% of the animal species on earth are invertebrates. Animals do not have backbone. They are usually smaller than vertebrates and have a wide variety of body forms. Invertebrates are animals that do not have backbone. And arthropods, arthropods are invertebrates that have tough exoskeleton and jointed limbs. The arthropod group includes myriapods, insects, arachnids, and crustacea. Arthropod classification, that one category is phylum of invertebrates is the arthropods, which contains several subgroups as shown here. Arthropods have a tough exoskeletal jointed limbs and antennae. Myriapods, mostly millipedes and centipedes. There, body of many similar segments are there, many pairs of legs are there. Other insects are there, includes bees, wasps, ants, and butterflies. Three main body parts are for this. Three pairs of jointed legs are there for this. Arachnids includes spiders, ticks, and scorpions. Two main body parts are there here in this. The four pairs of jointed legs are there in this. See, insects, there are three pairs of jointed legs. Arachnids, four pairs of joint legs are there. Okay, these are the main important things we saw. Next, crustacea is a large group including crabs, shrimps, and woodlice. So body consists of head, thorax, segmented abdomen. Usually 5 pairs of legs, but many have more. Insects in the ecosystem. Insects play many important roles in ecosystem, but one of the most important pollinating flowering plants is one of the important things, and this is a mutualistic relationship with insects, and they get food from the flower, usually nectar, while also helping the plant reproduce by carrying pollen between flowers. This leads to the fertilization of flowers and the formation of seeds. Butterflies feeds on nectar from flowers. Plants. The plant kingdom is divided into many groups depending on particular characteristics. Two of the major groups are seed plants and spore plants. So the major groups of the plant kingdom are seed plants and spore plants. And monocots are group of flowering plants that have parallel veins in the leaves and fibrous roots. Dicots are groups of flowering plants that have net-like veins and taproot structure. Ferns produce spores instead of seeds, and the leaves of ferns are called fronds. Now, group of plants. This type of life cycle helps determine how plant is classified. Some plants, such as mosses and ferns, grow from tiny structures called spores. Other plants grow from larger and more complex structure called seeds. Some seed plants produce their seeds inside cones, but most produce them in flowers. Coniferous plants. Coniferous plants produce their seeds in cones. These plants usually have needle-like leaves, and they include some of the tallest trees in the planet. Needle-like leaves, cone you are observing here. Next, flowering plants. Flowering plants produce seeds in flowers, and some flowering plants are called monocots. These usually have narrow strap-like leaves like grasses and palms. Others are dicots with broader leaves that have network of veins. See the diagram in this, you have flower pots are usually in multiples of 4 or 5 here. And these in the example of the dicot flowers here, your root system is at the bottom here, observe, root system is branching from the large main taproot. Net-like veins are present for these leaves. Spore plants. Fans produce their spores in tiny capsules that grow on the underside of their leaves, which are sometimes called fronds. You can see at the bottom here, some fibrous root system is there, hence fronds growing straight from the ground. The spore capsules are present on this one. Evolutionary trees. Different types of organisms were once classified by comparing their physical characteristics, but today we classify species by studying their evolutionary history. This can be shown in the evolutionary tree, which shows how closely related different species are in terms of their characteristics or their DNA. Evolutionary trees show how closely related to species. And a key fact in this one, another one is organisms grouped closely together on the tree share more characteristics than that are farther apart. Evolutionary trees may be based on DNA, other biochemical molecules, and physical characteristics of organisms. Evolutionary trees of mammals. Closely related species are grouped on the same branch in an evolutionary tree, with each fork on a branch representing the common ancestor of two or more groups. This tree shows how some important types of mammals are related to each other. Types of mammals are related to each other in this way. See, the farther left to branching point is further back in time the common ancestor lived here. Armadillos, arindas, elephants, hyraxes, sea cows. Herbivores, another one here, apes, monkeys, rabbits, rodents, and others. What are armadillos? Is very different from other mammals, which shows they have no close relatives. The common ancestor they share with other mammals lived a long time ago. What about elephants, hyraxes, and seas? Although they look very different elements, hyraxes, and sea cows are grouped together because they have similar DNA, which shows that they share a recent common ancestor. Coming to the another one, rabbits. Rabbits share many features with rodents, such as front teeth specialized for gnawing. There are also many similarities in their DNA. And this shows that they share a more recent common ancestor with rodents that with apes and monkeys. Evolutionary trees may also be drawn like this, with an appropriate time for each of the last common ancestors. This evolutionary tree shows that common ancestor of all the great apes lives about 13 million years ago. 13 million ago, orgonogutum, common ancestor, orangutan. 8 million years ago, gorilla. 6 million ago, chimpanzee, bonobo, the same time, and human now observed. Identification keys. Identification keys are used by scientists to identify organisms. Each level of the keys asks a question to which the answer is either yes or no. Splitting the groups of organisms into two is called dichotomous key. Dichotomous key means to split into two. Dichotomous keys can be used to help identify organisms by their features. At each step of a key, a question is asked that splits the group into two. Dichotomous key for vertebrates. This key provides a simple way of working out which of the main groups of vertebrates an organism belongs to. Vertebrates has fur, yes or no? Yes means mammals. No. Then we'll go to the next one. In mammals, you'll see cat. No means go to the next means they're telling has feathers. Yes, birds have feathers. Scarlet macaw. No means they has hair. They have a scaly skin and as a dry scaly skin is there. Reptiles they have. So gecko is the answer for this. No means as scales. Fish, yes, fish. Copper blind butterfish, butterfish. No means there's amphibian tadpole. Next, creating a dichotomous key. To create a dichotomous key, list the main features of the organisms you want to identify. Choose features that organisms always have. For example, number of legs are there. Rather than features that vary with environment, for example, size. Try to find groups that can be separated by yes or no questions observed. You could start a dichotomous key for those flying organisms using a number of wings or width of abdomen compared with the length, example thick or thin case. Damselfly, bee. Dragonfly, wasp. Butterfly, cranfly. Like this you can create dichotomous key. Thank you. Thank you very much for this session. In this session, we learned what is life with some basic information. Okay. We'll meet in the next session. Have a nice day.